Hey guys, let's talk about Karak Chai. Karak is a Hindi word that means strong or bold, while Chai means tea. So Karak Chai simply means strong tea. A well-made Karak Chai is rich, creamy, warm, spicy, and absolutely delicious. It is super flavorful tea, and I promise you are going to love it. So without further ado, let's get into the video. To make Karak Chai, you will need your black tea bag. You can use Lipton, Top Tea, or any other tea brand you like. Just make sure it's black tea for that bold and rich flavor. For the spices, I used cinnamon, which is sweet and earthy spice. It helps to balance blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and boost blood circulation. Then I used the tiny but mighty cloves, which is packed with antioxidants. They strengthen the immune system and can help ease sore throats. I also used cardamom. Cardamom is known for its sweet aroma and soothing taste. It supports digestion and helps freshen the breath. I also used star anise, which is great for treating cold, and it also aids digestion. Then last but not the least, I used fennel seeds, which is a light and refreshing spice. Fennel helps with bloating, it soothes the stomach and promotes better gut health. Next we have sugar, powdered milk, and last but not the least, evaporated milk. Now to begin, I'm going to pour 2 liters of water into my pot. That's the amount of water I'm using for the quantity of spices that I have. So keep in mind, the amount of water you use should depend on the amount of spices you are using to make the tea. Next, I'm dropping in my tea bags and all the spices into the pot. As you can see, I'm breaking the cinnamon stick a bit and opening up the cardamom pods. This helps release more flavor into the water. The goal is to maximize the richness of the spice, so you can just crush them slightly before they go into the pot. Now that everything is in, I'm going to light the stove and cover the pot. Covering the pot helps the tea boil faster, but once the tea starts boiling, I'll open the lid to stop it from boiling over and spilling onto the stove. At this point, I'll also lower the heat and let it simmer gently so the flavors can really brew and come together beautifully. While the tea is brewing, I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar. You can add your sugar later on if you prefer, but I like adding it now so that it can dissolve easily in the hot tea. After adding the sugar, I'll give it a good stir, and once I'm sure it's fully dissolved, I'll take a tiny portion of the tea to taste it. If it's not sweet enough, I'll simply add a little more sugar, and while I'm tasting, I also check the spice level. If it's too concentrated, I'll add a bit more water, but if everything tastes good, I'll leave it as it is. Now it's time to add the milk. Since I'm using powdered milk, I scooped a little bit of the hot tea into a bowl and mixed it with the powdered milk until there are no lumps. Once it's smooth, I pour the milk mixture back into the pot. Then I added a little more tea into the bowl just to rinse out the remaining milk paste, and then I added that back to the pot. We don't want to waste anything here, okay? After adding the milk, you want to stir continuously. This is because if you don't stir, a thick film can form on top of the tea, and we don't want that. We want every bit of the milk to blend smoothly into the tea without any clumps or fumes. So keep stirring gently as the tea simmers on the stove. So after the milk, I let it sit on the stove for about 5 more minutes to really bring all the flavors together. Then I turn off the heat and it's ready to be strained. To strain the tea, I folded a clean chiffon cloth inside the strainer and I placed the strainer over a clean bowl. I also used a fork to hold the strainer in place just to make sure it doesn't slip into the bowl while I'm pouring the tea. Now I'll gently pour all the contents of the pot into the strainer. The tea passes through the cloth and comes into the bowl smooth with no spice particles. When I'm done straining, I'll add my evaporated milk straight into the bowl, give it a good mix, and that's it. Our rich, creamy and perfect Karak tea is ready to be served. Just as a side note, you can use any spice you like, ginger and vanilla pod for example, and you can also leave out the ones you don't like, and you can use any type of sweetener or milk that you want. In fact, you can use a combination of 2 or more types of sweeteners or milk. I'm using powdered milk and evaporated milk here. You can use powdered milk only if that's what you want. You can use evaporated milk only, or you can use condensed milk. You can also use non-dairy mix like soya milk, oat milk, almond, and the likes of them. Also, if you don't want to use sugar, feel free to use honey, date syrup, or whatever sweetener works for you. The thing about Karak Chai is that it's all about your tastes, your comforts, the kind of flavors that you like, and the best way to enjoy it is to make it to your personal preference. No strict rules basically, just go with what gives you that flavor that you enjoy the most. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe for more simple and tasty recipes. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.